Officer Morgan here tonight, and we have his mother here tonight, and of course we have Sister Green, who is a board member of Disabilities Action. She has a very special announcement, and our lovely co-host, Queen Sister Kimberly. Tonight's show, we want to give mom and dad a chance to talk about how it is to have a disabled child in the household. So I'm going to ask Sister Kimberly if she would open it up and keep your eye on the finger.
I got you, Reverend Calvin. And thank you, and welcome everyone to the show. And thank you to our dynamic host and creator of this awesome show, the voice of the voiceless, Reverend Calvin Elliott Peterson. And thank you for having me. So we want to welcome Officer Morgan here on the end. Morgan Stewart. I am just really impressed to meet Officer of the Law, Morgan Stewart, in the house. Thank you for coming to the show. And Miss Tangi Foreman, his mother, and also Gwen Bonner. And we are putting our focus this evening on a very important topic about parents of children with disabilities, and also the fact that this is National Family Caregivers Month. So we first want to open it up and allow you all to share. Thank you. Allow you all to share and tell us about yourself. Let's first start with you, Miss Bonner, and telling us about the fact that it is National Family Caregivers Month.
Yes, thank you. My name is Gwen Bonner, and I have a 501c3 Benevolence Homes, Inc., and also I'm a board member of DIA. But I just want to let you all know that President Obama signed a proclamation that November is National Family Caregivers Month. And we've started an initiative at Fairfield Baptist Church, which will kick off this Sunday, honoring the caregivers with a service dedicated to the caregivers and a reception following. And our vision is that other churches in the metro area will incorporate this into their annual calendar to recognize the many men and women that are caregivers.
Thank you. Long overdue. Is this the first year that this has been recognized on a national level?
Actually, last year, 2014, was the first.
Okay. And so what are some of the activities going on? You mentioned the church.
Yes, at Fairfield on this Sunday, Fairfield is located at 6133 Redan Road. We will have just a regular Sunday worship, but it's recognizing everything is geared around caregivers. It's going to be a really nice spiritual, uplifting, educational program. And like I said, the vision is that other churches will incorporate this into their annual calendar, because caregivers do not get the recognition that they deserve.
So, Sister Green, could you talk about how this whole idea started out, and how some churches, they did not open the door to you, but you just kept at it until the door got open?
Yes, a few years ago, Reverend Peterson invited me to speak at his church as a guest. Initially, he wanted to have Caregivers Sunday once a month.
Yeah.
And so I did speak at his church, and that was really the vision for him to do that. But as I sit every Sunday and I observe people in my congregation, parents taking care of their children, friends caring for friends, spouses caring for spouses. I'm a caregiver to a 77-year-old gentleman with a spinal cord injury, and also I'm a baby boomer who now find myself moving into a reverse role with my parents. So I thought it was very crucial that we recognize caregivers, because we do have a lot of baby boomers that are now caring for families and parents caring for children.
Right. I mean, this is something that really, if you think about it, affects every family on some level. Like you said, at some point we'll end up taking care of our parents and sometimes other relatives. And so is that how you really became interested in bringing this more attention to this, because of your parents? And you mentioned the 77-year-old gentleman.
Yes, really it is. But when I think back, I've been a caregiver all my life. I just didn't know. It took me growing spiritually to really know what my gifts and talents were. And so I am a caregiver. I'm a natural helper. And so other things just kind of developed from that. But I'm always helping other people. Yeah. And I'm not taking anything away from the people in the healthcare industry that went on and trained to work in that industry. Kudos, take my hat off to them. But family caregivers are people like you and I who just abruptly have things brought upon us, and we really don't get a break. You're a caregiver 24/7.
Right.
Yes.
And I remember experiencing that with different family members, and
Absolutely.
It's really something that we really, all families need more support with. So I really commend you for being a part of this and bringing it more to the spotlight. We've mentioned DIA, and of course that's Reverend Calvin's organization, Disabled in Actions, about to celebrate 30 years being a voice for the disabled in the community.
That's a blessing.
Yeah. Is there a website with your, not only your organization that we want to hear more about, but also with the National Caregivers Month, where people can get more information?
There are a lot of different organizations that, the AARP just wrote an article about National Family Caregivers Month. Very interesting article. But if you Google, there are a lot of organizations that observe. The word's just not out there. Like, I don't hear a lot of people in this area speaking about that. Mm-hmm. So just help us get the word out.
Okay.
Yes, thank you so much, dear. And Sister Kim, it's on you.
Oh, it's on me, so what am I going to do? Yeah. So, Ms. Foreman, we want to switch to you right now and include you more in the conversation and have you tell us about your experience and introduce us more to this dynamic young man over here on our side, Officer Morgan.
Officer Morgan.
Well, my name is Tangi Foreman. I'm the parent of 3 children. My son, Morgan, Officer Morgan Stewart, will talk to you about that in a minute, how that occurred.
Like I need to salute.
He's 7 years old, and he has a condition called Spinal Muscular Atrophy. It's a neuromuscular disease. It affects your muscles. It's like shrinkage of the muscle, and it also affects your respiratory, and it's a progressive disease. At home, it changed all of our lives at the house.
Is it something that he was Morgan
he was born with it. It's I wouldn't say hereditary, kind of hereditary, but me and his father, both genetic disease, yes. Me and his father both shared that same defected gene, which caused the spinal muscular atrophy in Morgan, which he was born with it. So, but we didn't know at first when he was born on the due date, no complications, and then he just would never crawl, he never walked. He would stop breathing multiple times throughout the first 3 months of his life. Probably it was every week and a half, I would say. So from that point on, and then we found out when he was 15 months old that he had spinal muscular atrophy. through the neurologist and some genetic testing.
Right.
So
we see it has not affected his bright light.
Oh, no, no.
Spirit at all.
No, not at all.
Tell us how he became to
Become an officer.
Officer Morgan.
Well,
Hey, that's what I'm supposed to tell.
Thank you. That's right.
In the 2013, it was his aunt. You want to say?
I think we need to share.
Do you want to tell how you became an officer?
We're gonna get a ticket if we don't.
It's on you, Morgan.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
Officer Morgan, I apologize. If you please forgive me. Yes.
Fine.
Let's share. Go ahead.
Well, the thing how I became a police officer is my dream was actually supposed to be a police officer, but I didn't think my dreams can actually come true.
Okay.
But I was really at my auntie house when this happened on Thanksgiving, the first Thanksgiving.
Okay.
And then, well, I didn't know what to do, so I decided to play with my friends. And then I discovered that then suddenly, this just came in my mind. I wanted to be a police officer. But I didn't know if police officers' dreams, I didn't know if my dreams can come true. But actually, my auntie is the one that heard what I said. So I told her I wanted to be a police officer, and the police officer from the Covington Police Department caught my auntie and
Excuse us, officer. I'm sorry. I think someone else is getting a ticket here. We're going to get him in line so we can hear what you're saying. So you were saying that you had a dream and your auntie heard you?
yeah, so I told her I wanted to be a police officer. Well, I mean, the police officer from the Covington Police Department, Officer Ken, not the Porterdale, the Covington Police.
Okay, not the Porter. We want to get that straight because we don't want to end up in the wrong side of town.
It's just my auntie had a friend, and it was a police officer from the Covington Police Department. So I actually wanted to be a police department officer, and so he made me a police officer.
Oh,
All right.
okay,
All
congratulations.
right.
We want more police officers like you.
Yeah.
Oh, and
Yes.
the thing that my mama forgot to say is when I had muscle disease, it's actually I couldn't walk, couldn't crawl, or couldn't walk around
Okay.
or say I can't say much stuff when I was that. But the only thing I could do on the floor is just roll. But I rolled to one place and to another place. I kept on rolling, but now I can't roll anymore.
Okay.
I'm getting too big.
Oh, yeah. All right.
Wow, that's quite a story. Vaughn, did
Yeah.
you want to add something?
Well, by it being a progressive disorder, the muscles they'll start to weaken and shrink. So he used to be able to roll, like he said, like roll, but then at some point it stopped. Before he turned 2 years old, he stopped being able to, that muscle was gone, it shrunk. So, but that's how, yeah.
So, how is it in terms of getting different services for Morgan?
Okay, well, to get services for him, like he has nursing right now. He has to go to school with a nurse, his own personal nurse because we tried the parapro, paraprofessional, but they're not trained in certain aspects of his care with the different machines because he actually uses about 6 machines at home. So even though, like I tell everybody, he looks well out and all bright and but when we're at home, we really have to do a lot to make sure he's able to go outside, even able to go to school in the morning. So he's on a ventilator. He has a cough assist machine.
I'll take over from here. I'll get on the machine. I have a bed which shakes me up a lot.
A bed?
A vest.
A vest.
It's a vest machine that shakes his
And
basically
a
inside his lungs.
A nebulizer, it pretty much, when I was like 3, I was using it, but I didn't know. When I told Mommy, I don't know why there's smoke coming out. Isn't it just smoke? So
The nebulizer machine.
So I didn't know, but the smoke is the one that actually gets the mucus out of me.
Right.
But I have a ventilator. Sometimes I don't stop breathing. I don't stop breathing, but sometimes I can't hardly what? Okay, it's actually when I
Finish with your machines. What machines are you using?
Yeah. Okay, the vest, the nebulizer, the ventilator, the cough assist, the suction, the one I forgot. You can say it.
So he has about 6 machines and then medications that he take keep them together.
Nebulizer.
Let's
Let
let your
Mom
mom finish,
talk.
and then it'll be your
Hold
turn.
up. But just the services, the difficulties that I've come across is the nursing. So we have nurses that go to school with him and also homebound when he's at home. But getting a full-time job is hard for me because, like when he's in school, when he has to go to school and the nurses can't show up, when they don't show up, or when they have issues at home, and then the nursing company, they don't have anybody else to send out.
Right.
So what do I do?
So he goes to school full time?
He goes to school full time.
Okay, and he has to have how many nurses to go?
Well, he has 2 nurses that go to school. They switch days,
okay.
yes. So if one can't come, but the other one has another job that she's doing on those days, then I'm stuck with, do I go to work or do I stay home with him or really go take him to school?
Right.
Because I'm a single parent, and what else can I do? So how can I keep?
So you have to work.
Yeah, I have to work.
You're kind of in a bind if they don't show up.
In a bind, yes.
I hope you have an understanding employer.
But
I know that's part of the challenge.
It's hard to that. Like I said, the full time. I'm working part time now because of that.
Okay.
And I have a flexible job, which is good. But that's the only thing I can have right now is a real flexible situation with my employment.
So now, tell us how can that situation change for you? Tell us some things that could happen to help you out.
Well, I think we need to have some more understanding employers, with situations like that, more flexibility with the job market. When us as caregivers have to care for our children or our parents, because who else is going to care for them,
Now, do you know if there's anything written into the law that I know, like with the American Disabilities Act, that allows certain, considerations for people with disabilities. But what about the caregivers? Are there any things in the law to protect you in this type of situation, like let's say with your job?
Well, I know they have the families of, they have the FMLA.
That's when you have to go off
Family Medical Leave Act,
You
yes.
have to be off or something.
Right.
So
Which,
that covers you as a caregiver.
Yeah, which is good when you have a already established full-time job and you have your paid time off, which you have to use that first when you're on that leave. So once you use that up, you know, and I've spent weeks in the hospital with him
So that's like
at
a
times.
12-week situation.
Right. So I mean, well, yes, it can go longer. You can have it could be extended, you know, depending on the circumstances. But so more than 12 weeks in a lot of cases. But I had that before with my other job, but then when I got laid off, it was, you know, I had to start all over again.
Right.
You know.
Right.
So, and how can you tell a new boss, hey, I have a child that has special needs that I may not be able to come to work some days, you know? So how hard is, you know, that's difficult.
So how is Morgan school? He actually talks like he is an A student.
Yeah, he's an A student, so he's exceptional in school. He loves to read. He's in second grade, but he's almost on a fourth grade reading level. So he reads a lot. His little tests, and sometimes he thinks he's too smart for school. Sometimes he's taking the test, and, I know it, so I don't have to do it. I'm like, no, you have to do it. But when he does it, he gets A's, he gets hundreds on his test. So yeah.
Mommy,
Oh yes, he is.
I know we're way ahead, not on a nurse thing anymore, but I just wanted to tell y'all one thing about the nurse maybe.
Okay.
Okay, I used to. It wasn't a nurse. It was a nurse, two nurses, but I used to have one nurse, and then I actually had one nurse before. One nurse.
Yeah, but now we have two because we needed to fluctuate.
Oh.
It was really hard with that one nurse if she called out. So.
Morgan, what's your favorite subject?
My favorite subject is test.
You like taking tests?
And math.
Oh, okay, math. So you've already become a police officer at a young age. Do you have any other goals for what you want to do?
Yeah, but I'm trying to get. Well, my sister actually got like a A/B honor roll, but my mom said if I get an A/B honor roll, I could be able to get something from the store.
Okay.
We'll talk about what else you want to do, your goals.
You gotta have short-term goals first.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I forgot. I used to have one person that goes to school with me, but I used to go on the bus all by myself. But it's like I'm a little afraid. But
To go on the bus by yourself?
But what? But she had to go to another. But she had to go to another school. But it's not like she can just take care of me in two schools.
Okay.
The school bus.
Okay.
Talk about the school bus.
So what's the best thing you like about being a police officer? What? I see you have a siren on your chair.
I can't. I don't.
Giving
know.
tickets.
He can give. That's it.
No, pretty much that. Yes, but no.
Okay.
Yes and no. I like pretty like I really love it, but that's not the answer.
Okay.
Okay, I'm trying to say I really like the thing about being a police officer. I don't know yet, but I know this is what I didn't understand before, but now I understand. If I didn't understand right now, I couldn't tell y'all. But right now it's like this. When I was a police officer, I was saying I can't believe I caught a real bad guy, and they were like, it wasn't actually. It's not actually real bad guys. They're fake. And I was like, why are they fake? So they had to tell me why, and they told me I'm not a man yet, but when I'm a little boy, so people say that People say that guys steal children. Isn't that right?
The guy does what?
Sometimes.
Like bad guys. Sometimes bad guys
Steal
steal children.
Still true.
Yeah.
But
You
I'm
really
a,
want to get
but
them.
right now I'm a little kid, so if I try to catch a real bad guy, he can steal me for real.
Right.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
but if I'm like a man, I can just catch him.
Yeah, I think you'll be able to talk him out of it.
So they actually, December 17th, they named it Officer Morgan's Day in Covington.
Okay, December 17th. I'm sorry.
December 17th,
December 17th. It's
2013. That's when they gave him Officer Morgan's Day.
Congratulations.
Channel 11, they made that happen.
Wow.
And also, they spoke on his behalf on the floor in Washington, D.C.
Really?
And every year from then, we have an Officer Morgan's Day. We're starting a safety program called the Officer Morgan Safety Program.
Okay.
We're working on our 501c3 right now. It's already sent off, so we're waiting for that. And he's also going to be Kristy Priester. She's writing a book. She's the author
We know
of
Ms.
his first
Priester
book.
in the audience today.
Yes. And so, can we hear from her now?
You're being
Yes.
called upon,
Yes.
Miss Kristy Priester, author and activist and
Yes.
supporter of
I
DIA
was gonna
Disabled
do
in
you
Action
one.
and a shero of ours. Welcome to the show, Miss Priester.
Thank you. Hey, Officer Morgan.
Hi.
This is one of my newfound best friends. And
Come on.
just want me to
Miss
come on and-
Christie. Miss
Yes, sir.
Christie.
Yes.
Oh,
Look.
he's also a producer. Thank you.
Okay. Okay.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Is it on? Testing? This just doesn't sound like it's on. My name's Kristy Priester. I'm the publisher of the Atlanta Child Care Guide. And I actually was working on a program that's called Lifting Spirits, about lifting the spirits of people who have been victims of abuse. That has been my mission for the last 14 years in the publishing industry. You know, to help make differences with children and parents that are going through abuse issues. And I was writing a book, and as I was writing this book, Lifting Spirits, I heard the TV, and I heard this little voice on there talking about, I'm going to be a police officer. And I had to just turn around and look, and by the time I got the glimpse of Morgan, who stated he wanted to be a police officer, I just had to reach out to his parents to ask them about telling his story, because it's too often our children are overlooked about their contributions of what they can give and do for people and for society. So I actually felt that in writing his story, and the book is going to be coming out the 1st of December. It's done. It's beautiful. We're waiting just for some sign releases for his photo gallery. And it's a beginner's chapter book, for children ages 6 through 13, and even adults will be totally inspired by the book. So it's a book that's easily readable to children, to younger children, even 3, 4, 5 years old. And I am just so proud of Officer Morgan in following his dream and getting the support that he has gotten through the community. And it's just sometimes sad to not see that the community doesn't step up for all children to help them fulfill their dreams, because everybody has something to offer.
Oh,
Yeah, all children do.
Sometimes not every kid can be a police officer. Sometimes some kids have to grow up, but I'm old enough to be a police officer. I know how old I was how old I was when I was a police officer. When I first became, I was actually
5 years old. We here.
5 years old. Wait, 5? Why couldn't I just be 4?
You're 5.
Yeah, you're a veteran now. So the name of the book about Officer Morgan again is?
The name of the book is called Safety Copology.
Wow, Safety Copology.
The Officer Morgan story.
Okay.
Officer Morgan Stewart story.
I know the only reason we're making this book is because some children don't know bike safety, some children do, some children don't know bus safety, car safety, playing in the street safety.
Okay.
There's also toy safety. You should never, the first one on the toy safety is everybody should know this. If you actually had a ball and you try to juggle it and you didn't want to go on the street and accidentally roll on the street and there was a car coming, never ever go out in the street again.
Right. Never ever go out in the street.
Only ask somebody to get it.
So these safety tips are valuable pieces of information. We appreciate that, Officer Morgan. That's part of your the
safety program.
The safety program. Yes.
There's a person on the phone. Hello. Go ahead. You on the air?
Hello.
Yes.
Hello.
Hello.
Yes.
Yes, my name is Iris Hill.
Yes. Thank you for calling, Ms. Hill. Your question?
And I was watching the television.
Yes.
And I see Officer Morgan on the television.
Why is it always me?
Yes.
Yes.
And also I see Kristy Priester. I used to work with her also.
Oh, okay. Yes.
Hello.
And it's just a pleasure for me to be a caregiver.
Oh, all right. Yes.
Are you?
And I am so proud of Officer Morgan.
Thank you, but are you
And
really
his
watching this?
Yes. You are really being watched on television.
Yes, I can hear you and I can see you also, Officer Morgan.
Hey, where are you? I don't see anybody.
This is live television, Officer. You're famous more than you were.
This is I'm at home.
She's on the phone.
But I am so proud of you.
Thank
And you keep up the good work that you're doing as an officer
Yes.
Yeah.
and a young gentleman.
And a
Yes.
good
And a gentleman.
Yes.
Yes.
But-
Thank you so much.
Thank
If
you.
you're at home, that is so weird.
Yeah, that's how it works.
How-
You're reaching a lot of
If
people,
you're
Officer
if
Morgan.
you're at home and you're calling us, how is it coming out of the speakers?
Because
Like,
they have
like-
it set up like that.
Yeah.
but that's so weird.
The-
I don't see anybody though.
Yeah, you're reaching a lot of people, Officer Morgan. So how can we get
Yeah.
his book this December, just in time for Officer Morgan Day again
Oh,
in
yes.
December? How can we get the book?
You can Atlanta Child Care Guide, and we're going to have a kickoff at the Shepherd Center. We're
Oh.
waiting to confirm the dates now. So his kickoff book signing will be there, and we're going to hopefully just pay attention to the news. Will be covered in the media.
Is
And
there a website or telephone number or email?
you can email Atlanta Child Care at AOL.com or reach us at 404-288-8980.
Okay, repeat that again.
That's Atlanta Child Care Guide, not Atlanta Child Care at AOL.com. And the telephone number is 404-288-8980.
Oh,
Thank you so much.
Wait, I gotta tell my mom something. Mommy, really, how come you forgot to say this? I just remember. Okay, actually, what we're trying to do, since I know all of y'all know why I'm in a wheelchair. I was just saying, my mom's trying to get me a fundraiser. Everybody's fundraising me, like at IHOP, even Pizza Hut. I didn't even know they can fundraise me at Pizza Hut.
We're trying to do a fundraiser to get a accessible wheelchair van.
Okay.
So right now it's kind of hard
really?
for me getting the chair in and out the van.
Yeah.
And also we're trying to find a cure for SMA. So
Yes.
that's the main thing. We're trying to find a cure. It's called Spinal Muscular Atrophy.
Spinal Muscular Atrophy.
Yes. So we're trying to find a cure. It's curesma.org.
CureSMA.org.
So if anybody can donate money to that foundation. And we have
GoFundMe.
our GoFundMe account, which is Officer Morgan Stewart.
Okay. And we want to make sure people understand how to spell the last name.
Stewart is spelled Steward.
Okay, Morgan, M-O-R-G-A-N.
Morgan, Morgan Stewart, Steward.
Oh,
Okay,
I think
excellent.
there's another phone call.
All right.
Is there another phone call?
Yeah, there is. He
That's
told
what
me.
police officers do, let you know what's going on.
No, Morgan.
Oh, no. Okay.
Okay.
Now let me ask you a question, Morgan. Okay. Is with you seeing all that your mom goes through, is there any type of help that you would like to see her get for your family?
Yeah, it's actually the only reason we need a accessible
Van.
van is because we have it's so difficult to get this chair in and out.
Mm-hmm.
And the other chair in and out. I have 3 electric chairs that we have to get in the car.
Wow.
But three manual chairs that's phone call.
You're good multitask. So
Okay.
these chairs
Hello.
are very heavy and they're hard to get around.
Hello.
Yes, we have a caller.
Hello. I am a member of Fairfield Baptist Church in Stone Mountain on Redan Road, and you all having festivities for November because November is National Caregiver Month. Tell me some of the stuff that y'all are doing so I can get involved. This is a very good program, and it's a nice change seeing young folks speak their mind and having their parents right alongside. So what's going on for
Yes.
National Caregivers Month, please, Ms. Kim?
Thank you. Thank you so much, Sister Gwen.
Hi, I'm a member of Fairfield as well. I'll be there on Sunday if you want to speak with me on Sunday. I could give you some information on it, but the program starts at 10:45, and following the program, we're going to have a reception immediately following where I could answer questions for you in the Family Life Center.
Okay. Thank you. And I did want to get back to you and for you to tell us about your organization that you've started to help the overall cause.
The Benevolence Home is a 501c3, and when I initially started my nonprofit in 2004, I was going to do something totally different with it, but it wasn't time. So God is leading me in a different direction. I do a lot of work with youth and elderly and people with disability, and I would like to just educate the community and put on events like the one that I'm doing this Sunday at church, recognizing the caregivers. But I just wanted to extend to you, I have an accessible vehicle that I use for the person that I am a caregiver for, so I'll give you my information anytime that I could be of service. Right now I'm back and forth between here and Alabama, but if I could offer some assistance to you, I'll be more than happy to do that.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Now, how can people support your organization? Is there contact information? How we can get in touch with you and your organization?
It's Gwen Bonnier, and my email is var.benevolencehomesinc@gmail.com. My number is 678-851-8486, and I'm still working on my website.
Now, see, this is the whole purpose for us doing this type of show, is to give people a chance to help others. This is the whole purpose for this show. I would like to thank People TV for allowing us to do this type of show, and there's going to be a part 2 in December, because normally this type of show goes on for 2 hours, but because of the high number of people that doing shows, they had to cut it down to an hour. I have been doing a show at People TV for over 30 years, and People TV is now opening the door for a disabled individuals to come in and have their own show. So Kristy, I'll be that number.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes, something else to put on my plate. That's exciting.
Yeah.
To do.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, thank you all for coming.
Thank you for having us.
Yes.
And does anybody have anything that they would like to say? I'm sure Officer Morgan has something to say.
You have anything else to say?
Well, yeah, I really want to tell my mom thank you for being a great mom, and thank you for taking care of me. And I really want to say, the last time I made you cry, the other time, I really want to say I really do want to live with you.
Oh.
Really does.
Yeah, he want to live with. He said he really want to live with me. Because he said he didn't want to live with me no more. Because I do all the I'm mom, but I have to take care of him, and when I have to do all the equipment, and we have to do all the treatments, and I'm getting up 3-4 in the morning to make sure he's breathing and making sure he's not congested, making sure his lungs is open. I mean, he sometimes like, Mom, like, why? I'm like, we have to do this so that you can function during the daytime, you know. So I'm the good mama, but I'm the bad guy sometimes too. So it comes with the territory, and that's just, you know, it's well worth it. So yeah.
Well, I mean, I know personally, I know we all have been blessed. Our audience have been blessed to hear the story, and I appreciate everyone bringing awareness. You know, as we're saying, awareness is the key, just to us to know what's going on. And you know, there are a lot of movements that started long ago, and people had to first become aware of them. And so, you know, we want to, you know, stand with you and support you in bringing awareness and more rights and more benefits and funding and fundraisers and all those sort of things to the cause, and just having an open heart. So we thank you, Ms. Gwen, for your offer. I mean, just what that represented, and we, you know, pray for more of that. And I know they call it a defective gene, but, you know, it's some kind of special
I don't know what to call it, that you received this
I'm
awesome responsibility
Yep.
and honor to be Morgan's mother.
Yes.
And, you know, we want to continue to watch and support and be inspired by you all and to
Yes.
do what we can. So thank you, Reverend Calvin, for another awesome show. And
Wait, are we on the news?
we are the news. Miss Kristy Priester.
I just wanted to say, Morgan, I really appreciate what you're saying, and I'd like to thank, too, all the caregivers out there that are doing what they can do for assisting folks such as ourselves that have special needs. And I think that they are out there doing a great
Phone
job.
call? There's
There's
a
a phone call.
Oh, we got another phone call. Caller, you're on the air.
Hello.
Hello.
You're on the air.
Hello.
Yes. Go ahead, caller.
Yes.
Hello, Reverend Peterson. How are you?
Yes, we're good, thank you. And your question?
I wanted to call and say how very grateful I am for tonight's program and for you, Reverend Peterson, for your working with Disabled in Action and all that you do. But I also want to thank the mothers there, the caregiver, Miss Gwen, and to Miss Stewart and her son. I'm so very grateful, and Miss Priester as well. I think that it's so important, and I'm going to ask you a question, Reverend Peterson, because I know that you've had a mission of inclusion, and I think it's so important that we make visible, and that we include voices of Miss Stewart and Morgan, and so that they're visible, and that we have an open society where everybody is embraced, right? And so I want to thank you tonight for this beautiful family. And I wanted to ask you, Reverend Peterson, to speak to your organization and your mission of inclusion. And my last question is to Ms. Stewart in terms of, I think she said she had 3 children, and I'd like to speak to the whole family in terms of how the other children and how they relate to their brother and just the family life. Again, I want to thank you all for tonight's program. Thanks a lot.
All right. Thank you for the call.
Well,
How many other children?
I have 2 other children. I have a
your ages?
17-year-old son, and I have a 10-year-old daughter as well. So they're very familiar with his disease, and I actually taught them as well how to work his machines, so just in case of an emergency. And also, one thing that I've taught my children as well, Morgan can't move his bottom side. He can do this. So he can't do this, move around if he have an itch or anything like that. So what I had them do, and I did it myself, I sat in a chair, and I put myself in a certain position because he also has scoliosis. And so I put myself in a position where he sits sometimes. He has a vest on right now. And I had my children do the same thing, and I had them sit there for at least 5 minutes without moving at all, and to let them see exactly how he feels when he can't move, and just to let them know, hey, if you see him around and he's in his wheelchair riding around, it's just to move him around and just, kind of lift him up a little bit so you can, because you wouldn't want to have to sit like that for a long period of time. And so
that's a sensitivity training I think everybody should have to go through in schools.
I did it myself.
And
I did everything that I see he could not do, and I put myself in that same position because I wanted to know the severity on when I need to move him and how quick and how he feels, and and I don't want him to feel neglected in any way at all. So my children, they know how to care for him as well, and they're very attentive, and they love him.
We commend them as well. Thank you.
And I had to do a lot of adjustments because I had to, and I had to include them and let them know I'm not neglecting you all either. But it was a lot of time I had to put into Morgan's care that I still do, and they've included themselves to help me as much as they can. So, and I loved it, and I love them for it.
Thank you for sharing that. I mean, it's inspiring all of us. And we're going to be wrapping up the show. Reverend Calvin, you wanted to share something?
Also, Morgan had something to say.
You're going to have the last word.
Before we end the show.
I was gonna say, my mom. Well, before I actually noticed that I couldn't walk, it's because I wasn't actually like one time I was like when I was a baby. That's the only time I remember I couldn't walk. But I was in like the pool, and I was like, how come I have this big old thing around my neck? And that's because I couldn't swim, but because I'm weak. Like that, my mom had to tell me I'm weak, so I couldn't move a lot in the water, and I can't like. People say move my arms, and I can do that. But if I was like on the other side of the pool, and I didn't have that thing around my neck, I would be like drowning. But the only thing I can, if I want to do this, like swim like other people can, I have to have that big old thing around my neck.
It's a tube that
Right,
instead of like a tube to go
device.
around, it's a tube that actually it's called water babies. It goes around his neck when he's in a pool. So it kind of looked like, oh my goodness, what you got around his neck? But that's what keeps his body up because
Right.
he has, his lower extremities are very weak.
Right.
So, and it also helps his body flow in the water. So which is
Yeah,
really
but
good for his body.
It's just sometimes if I had it, if I didn't have it on my neck and I had it like over my waist, my head, and I would be in the water, people say I can flop over that way in the water and drown myself.
Right,
Because
so-
I can be like,
Yeah.
like sometimes I can, like if I flop over my head, my feet might go outside the water, and my chest and my head might be all the way in the water. If I didn't have a mom.
Officer Morgan, excuse me. I have one question. If there was one thing you could say to other children that have special needs like yourself, or children who children your age that you have friends with in school, if there's something special you could say to them, what would it be? What would you like to say to them?
It would be, the best thing that I would say to children is I would like them to be safe and never play in the street when a car is coming. The only reason I'm saying a grown-up should go out in the street when the car is coming is because grown-ups really don't get here.
Okay.
Because sometimes children are very small.
Yeah.
Isn't
That
that
was a
right,
good
Mommy?
point, to be safe.
Like children are really small, right, Mommy?
Okay. Yes.
And they can't,
Everyone to be safe.
Be safe.
and they can't, and the people that are in the car can't see
Thank
the
you.
children. But
She's an officer. Thank you, Officer Morgan. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Reverend Calvin. And it's been a wonderful show.
Thank you.
Thank
Thanks
you.
for having us.
All right, good job.
More, yeah.